Welcome to the I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Meg Turney.
It has been a wasteland out there for Fallout 4 news the past few weeks. It's like nothing's going on. But with Fallout 4 finally launching tomorrow, Bethesda's hotly anticipated game could not come any sooner for all the Vault Dwellers out there just itching to get their Pit Boys into the fight.
Can't wait to strap it to my wrist. It's been 5 long years since New Vegas. Do all the leaks paint an accurate picture of the follow-up to what many consider to be one of the greatest games of last gen? Is the map too small? Are there really frame rate issues on the PS4? How are the graphics? Does the game cure cancer and in-world hunger like we thought it did?
We are asking the big questions here. Plus 5 irradiated dog meat for everyone. You're welcome. Reviews are now live for Bethesda's new open-world sci-fi RPG shooter, and now the answer to the question everyone's dying to know. Is it good?
So far, the Metacritic score for Fallout 4 is sitting at an average of 90.
Nice! That's
Very
nice.
Great. Once you factor in the PC score of 89, the PS4 score of 90, and the Xbox One score of 91, that's how averages works, kids. In contrast, Fallout 3 pulled in an average score of 91 on Metacritic. It's all over! While Skyrim currently sits with an average score of 94 across the major 3 platforms.
Well, this one's a failure.
It's
just
an
time to
absolute
give it up and
failure.
go home.
Pack it up. Even though New Vegas wasn't built by Bethesda, it does help give it a little bit of context to note that it's sporting an average of 84 on Metacritic.
Damn, Obsidian.
Absolute failure.
What did the biggest review outlets think of jumping into the streets of Boston to be inundated with quests and futuristic weaponry? Well, Games Radar gave it a perfect 5 stars, and IGN came just shy of agreeing with them at 9.5 out of 10. Meanwhile, the Escapist, EGM, Game Informer, and GameSpot all called each other up to see if they should wear matching 90s.
Ooh.
And on the lower-end PC, Gamer scored it at 88, while Forbes gave it an 85, and Destructoid bottomed it all out with a 75.
Oh,
Wow.
want to be different. Oh, look at us being so different.
Gotta go against the trend.
Guess it might be good, maybe, a little bit. Before we dive into the meat of the reviews, let's talk about those pesky frame rate issues and everyone's big worry with Bethesda games. Does it actually work?
Doesn't matter, we still love them.
Yes. Over the weekend, several gamers who received their copies of Fallout 4 early reported frame rate issues in the game's interior sections. Apparently, in some places, this can drop the frame rate to as low as single digits. No! You could literally count Fallout 4's frame rate on 2 hands, unless you're a mutant with 60 fingers.
And then you don't even need... Never mind. If you're a mutant with 60 fingers, please tweet us a picture.
Yes.
We'd like that. This frame rate issue is sadly all too familiar with Sony's console users. If you remember the launch of Skyrim, the PlayStation 3 version would often break once the save file got anywhere over 5 megabytes. Fallout 3 also launched with a host of problems. So, not new, just new gen.
I hear Bethesda in Spanish stands for les bugs. Get it? Because it's not. I used French there. We're funny.
Did reviewers experience the same issue though? Games Radar, who again gave the game a perfect score, acknowledges the frame rates can be a bit choppy, but not game-breaking. Polygon goes a little further, saying Fallout 4 has some of the same technical issues as Bethesda's previous games, from strange AI quirks to performance hitches and actual hard locks of the software. That's hard locks.
Who
are
gives
not
it a
great.
perfect score and then says, like, yeah, choppy, but perfect?
Look, we just really love Bethesda.
That's true.
Eurogamer echoes Polygon's complaints as well, writing, Fallout 4 has given me some of my best gaming moments of 2015, along with some of my most frustrating. These are legacy problems that aren't going away anytime soon. Fallout 4 is a great game. It's also kind of a mess.
It's like that mess that
It's a
we
hot
all
mess,
love.
though.
Oh, yeah. The one you hook up with at the end of the night. So everyone's saying, it's a Bethesda game. I think we've said that before.
So we
can
know
get it.
at least what we're getting into.
Right.
If you've played Bethesda games before, this is not a surprise.
Absolutely. And what a huge game it is, by the way, according to reviewers. While players were concerned about the game's map size last week, really, it's not about the size of the map, it's how you use it, which supposedly could, at the time we were talking about last week, run only just 11 minutes from end to end. It did sound like Bethesda's packed more than enough things to do in the Commonwealth. Games Radar praised how much there is to do in Fallout 4, saying there's a whole world here to discover, and even after all the time I've spent in it, I barely feel like I've scratched the surface. For all the missions, quests, and other stuff Fallout 4 contains, by far the most important thing in it are the decisions I've made. Few games nail a feeling of total freedom, and this is an experience made of nothing but that.
Try wearing a kilt. IGN also celebrated the amount of content, adding that after more than 55 hours played, I may have seen an ending, yet I feel like I've only begun to explore its extraordinary world. From the look of it, I'll easily be able to spend another 100 happy hours here and still see new and exciting things.
Sounds like an entry in like a Christopher Columbus journal. I've just made it to the new world and I've spent 55 hours.
Day
but I
3,
think-
I'm already getting tired of coconuts.
That's right, I could spend 100 more happy hours here. So basically, again, it's a Bethesda game. Fallout 4 deviates a bit from the previous Bethesda titles in that it tells a bit more of an engrossing story compared to Fallout 3 or Skyrim, which are serviceable but not stellar.
You don't really play those games for the story. You play them because you can do whatever you want outside the story. The story's always the last thing you do. When you have no more quests in everywhere else.
Then fine, I'll do the story quests. In Fallout 4, you're the survivor of Vault 111 on the search for your family in a post-apocalyptic world filled with fighting factions and horrifying abominations, all while making difficult choices. GameSpot said of the game's story, your decisions have real impact on your journey, but perhaps more importantly, on the fate of others. Fallout 4's story regularly challenges you to make compromises.
Good, because if there's one thing I really like, it's for my mistakes to fuck it up for everyone else. Oh, yeah. According to reviewers, this harrowing tale is bolstered by the game's mechanics, some of which have seen some big changes since our last trip into the Wasteland. Whereas the ability to pause combat in Fallout 3 watered down some of the encounters, Fallout 4 has figured out a way to make fights quick, rewarding, and strategic all at once. EGM is a big fan of the new style of combat, writing that Fallout 4 has taken inspiration from shooter veterans id Software and Bungie to create an experience that makes fighting enjoyable again.
In terms of player progression, players will find that streamlined as well, but still with a stunning amount of depth. IGN's review states the entire concepts of skill points and traits have been consumed by the perk system, unifying all character progression under one big, elaborately animated Vault Boy chart. With so many unlockable options, you have to scroll through them to see them all.
Even the loot's been overhauled to feel similar to other action RPGs like Diablo or Destiny, with the most unique gear able to receive modding. Yes, that includes clothes and armor.
Making loot whores out of all of us.
We already were.
Thanks, Bethesda. And all of that isn't even mentioning some of the new biggest time sinks, new systems for weapon customization and building up settlements.
Which is good since there's no weapon wear and tear anymore. So you need something to fill your time, right?
Build it all up. Reviewers had a ton to say, good and bad, about the new systems, but for the most part, they seem to be a fun addition to the game that add yet another distraction in the search for your family. Game Informer loves it, saying, I wanted to grow the settlements as big as I could. Combing the world for resources is the best means of achieving this goal, and that's one of the most enjoyable aspects in Fallout 4 as it pushes you to explore more.
The main complaint about these new additions is that they aren't terribly well explained. Polygon writes that it can be a little intimidating and some of the interface is obtuse. If you're not paying total attention to each tutorial early on, I predict you'll be running to Google.
Seriously, how do people figure out how to do anything in video games before Google? Nintendo Power Magazine.
We called those hotlines.
Nintendo Power Magazine.
I mean, I regularly ask Google how I should live my life. I had to call hotlines before that too.
Nintendo Power Magazine for that too. Maybe Bethesda should ask it how it made games less buggy. So, at the end of the day, it sounds like, yes, some people's concerns are warranted when it comes to issues that might affect how Fallout 4 plays, but nevertheless, reviewers seem to be in love with the game overall.
We actually looked for Gus to see if we could get his opinion on it, but surprisingly, he's nowhere to be found.
He's sick.
We think he's irradiated sick. Yeah. There's a ton of stuff to do, new places to explore, better ways to kill bigger monsters, all with a well-told story that puts a lot of weight into how your decisions will affect the Commonwealth.
And more importantly, it all feels like the familiar Fallout we so fondly remember before it crashes.
Yeah, that's what I remember. So what do you guys think of all these Fallout 4 reviews? Do you buy Bethesda games regardless of any issues that might be present at launch? Because we all know that they're going to be there anyway. Is your wanderer going to be male or female? Or are you going to just ignore your family, build generators for your settlements? So many options. Let us know in the comments.
To do. Just stay up to date on the latest news from the Commonwealth, like this video, and subscribe to the Now.
Let's go play Fallout.
Yeah! I want to play with the puppy. Oh, we don't need the script. This is just like the unscripted bit.
I didn't know if you wanted to read it.
No, we'll just like, because we sort of like hard cut.
There's a cut
the
anyway,
end card
yeah.
anyway.
This should be the end bit, just us explaining how the end bit works.
Yes. What comes next?
Then you put it in Premiere and you cut it, and I just still don't know how to work the transition where it like becomes small, so I just put it in a story recently and didn't mean to. It doesn't look good.
You know, when a game like this comes out on a Tuesday, it really makes me start to believe in like Nintendo Fridays and the Call of Duty Friday, because all I want to do is not work anymore and go home and play.
Taking off a whole week.
To play what? Call of Duty?
You're just gone, Tyler?
Really?
Bye.
Bye.
I think Tyler, I want you to get a Call of Duty PlayStation 3, the ugly one.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm an Xbox guy.
Well, I know. But if they had an ugly one, you'd buy it, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
Yeah, you would.
Gross. All right, we're doing this.